JJ, welcome to Breakdown. August 28th, we're going to do SEC Big Ten, but this broadcast is going to be strictly focused on the SEC East.
SEC East, let's do it.
SEC East. Let's do it then.
Let's get it.
All right. Okay, last time, JJ, we did the Big Ten West. SEC East, national champion, came out of the SEC last year in Georgia. It's going to be interesting seeing the SEC. Before we get started on all of the schools, and we're going to break down each school, school by school, is there any particular game that kind of stands out? And don't go in details about it, but if there are any that stand out, we will go into it as we get into the process.
Well, I would say the game that stands out to me is the defending champs hosting the Oregon Ducks.
Really?
In week one.
Okay.
I would say that's the game that stands out to me. As it pertains to like out of conference schedule. Like we're gonna get into the meat of the conference and we'll talk about some highlights within like inter-conference.
Okay. I know Ohio State started their year off last year with Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it, JJ. You ready?
More than ready.
Okay, Florida.
Sure.
Florida. Last year they were 6-7.
Started off against Utah.
Oh, that's a big one this year.
Yeah.
Number 6 team in the country preseason against Utah. Florida over and under is 7. And as I said, last year they were 6-7. Anything about Florida excites you?
They have perhaps the most talented or gifted quarterback in the entire country in Anthony Richardson, formerly known as AR-15.
Wow. The most talented? That include Bryce Young, CJ Stroud?
Yeah, those guys, CJ Stroud 6'3", he's not immobile, but he can't really run. Bryce Young is a little bit faster than CJ Stroud, but he's maybe 5'10". He's cut from the Drew Brees cloth of quarterbacks when it comes to size. But Anthony Richardson, people compare him to Cam Newton. Like he's 6'4". They call him AR-15 because he has absolute cannon for an arm. Like the ball jumps out of his hands. Just very gifted from a stature and arm strength.
So what's your take on the 7 over and under as far as the number of games they win this year? Would you say they go over, under, or they push?
Honestly, I don't like to push too often.
Okay.
I think that's like the coward's way out. But I think I do think that they will push. I think they open up against 2 ranked teams, Utah, who almost beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl last year. I think they lose to Utah, even though it's at the Swamp.
Okay.
But I do think they then beat Kentucky in week 2.
At home again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minus most likely Kentucky's running back Chris Rodriguez.
So you think they beat Kentucky? We'll get into why you think the running back won't be there. Rodriguez won't be at Kentucky?
Yeah.
Why?
DUI.
He won't be there for the second game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I did not realize that. Some of the key games Florida goes to the west part of the SEC and Texas A&M. They got to go to Texas A&M.
It's a big game for them.
That's true. They got the non-conference game, Utah, Florida State,
USF.
Yeah, and then Eastern Washington. But the Utah, they start the season with Utah and they end it with Florida State.
Yeah.
In between there, you say they're going to get 7. It'll be interesting seeing them play. I thought Florida dramatically underachieved last year at 6-7. Hopefully, this year we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they have a brand new coach who isn't used to having to step into this type of situation where they have to rebuild a program. But, talent is abounding in Florida. So Gainesville should not lack for talent. The reason they let go of Dan Mullen, he was finishing top 10 in recruiting every year. But their biggest rival in Georgia was finishing top 5, and he was not able to do that. So Florida's gonna have to do that.
Well, let's talk about Georgia.
Let's do it.
Defending national champion. Last year, 14-1. Lost 1 game in the SEC championship game. That would have been to Alabama. The over and under this year is 10.5.
Yeah.
I'll say this about Georgia. they only play one team that's in the preseason top 25, and that one team is at Kentucky.
Okay.
That's the only team they're playing that's in the top 25 preseason. What's your take on the 10.5 wins?
Yeah, I would take the over on that one.
Okay. I will say this, man. I definitely do not think Georgia is as good as they were last year, by no stretch of the imagination. Last year they started off with Clemson. This year they don't start off with Clemson. They do start off with Oregon. And you said it was an interesting game.
Yeah.
What makes that an interesting game?
Well, Oregon's the best program in the Pac-12. They've consistently been easily the best program year in and year out. The machine driven by Phil Knight has been successful.
Well, they opened the season last year with Ohio State, and they played admirably against Ohio State. They were in it to the end. This year they opened up against Georgia, so they played the big boys. You can't deny that.
They don't duck anybody.
Okay. Georgia, I mean, wow, their non-conference schedule, other than Oregon, they got Samford, not Stanford, Samford, Kent State, Georgia Tech, the last game of the season. Not that impressive. But you say they beat the 10.5 win total. I'm going to say they don't.
Okay.
I'm going to say Tennessee sneaks up on them.
Okay.
Even though it's at Tennessee. I'm sorry, it's at Georgia, and they got to go to Kentucky. I think they're going to drop one, maybe two of those games, and who knows what else will happen. Speaking of Kentucky, let's do Kentucky.
Yeah, they're ranked in the preseason for the first time since 1978.
Ranked number 20.
Ranked 20th.
Yeah.
They return Will Levis, a quarterback who there's a lot of opposing viewpoints on his potential and his ability. I've seen some mock drafts that have him going first overall in the 2023 NFL draft.
Okay.
But you have to account for the fact that last year he only eclipsed 200 yards passing in one game in throughout the entire SEC. One SEC game throughout the entire season last year. He only did that once, and he lost his best playmaker in Wandale Robinson. He got drafted by the Giants. He's looking pretty good too. So they lose him. They also lose their second best receiver in Josh Ali, and Chris Rodriguez is potentially could have became Kentucky's all-time leading rusher this year had he not sustained a DUI and another disciplinary action. There's a disciplinary action about Chris Rodriguez that they have not released, but they said it's not a legal matter.
Okay.
So that's one issue, and the other issue is the DUI. So he's supposed to be out multiple games. So that would include the Florida game in game 2.
Okay. Well, the over and under for Kentucky is 8. Last year, Kentucky had pretty impressive 10-3 record.
Second time Mark Stoops took him to 10-3.
Pretty impressive. That by itself makes me wonder if they're becoming a football school. But given that their schedule, they do have 2 top 20 preseason top 25 teams, and they go to Mississippi and they play at home against Georgia. That Georgia game is a key game. I would circle that game if you're a Kentucky fan. You get them at home. If you want to really, 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 really become a football school, you beat Georgia at home.
Yeah,
yeah,
I would agree with that.
So did I already ask you what they do as far as the 8 and under? Will they exceed 8 or not, or will they push?
I'm tempted to push again, but I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say, even with their suspensions, even with having to break in some new receivers, I'll say Kentucky. They also lost 2 NFL players to the draft on the offensive line. I'll still say Kentucky takes the over and wins 9 games.
Their offensive line was really good last year.
Yeah.
You know what? You've already said Mark Stoops has won 10 twice. I wouldn't bet against him this year. I would not bet against him. The other school, JJ, that we're going to talk about next, Missouri. Missouri, their over and under is 5. Last year they were 6 and 7. Anything about Missouri that people should know about?
I think that they're just going to be a middle of the road, mediocre SEC team. I think they're not going to be in contention for anything of significance. I think that 5.5 is that's a good line because I think I'm going to go under and say that they win 5 games. What do you think about?
Well, I think they'll win their non-conference game. I mean, they got Louisiana Tech, Kent State, Abilene Christian, and New Mexico State.
Kansas State, right?
Is it Kansas State or New Mexico State? For Missouri.
Oh, they have I thought it was New Mexico State and Kansas State. But maybe
I'm sorry. Did I misquote? They got Louisiana Tech, Kansas State.
Yeah, I thought you said Kent State. I'm sorry.
Oh, I may have said Kent State. I'll repeat it. They have Louisiana Tech, they have Kansas State, Abilene Christian, and New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Those. And Kansas State is a little bit tougher than I give.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It is at Kansas State.
That's true.
I might.
That's true.
I might pick Kansas State to win that one. Honestly.
All right. You may be right.
Missouri did lose to Boston College last year at Boston College.
Yeah. I remember Boston College beat Notre Dame years ago. But you know what? I think I'm gonna go with the under 5.5 with Missouri.
We're going under 5 as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. South Carolina.
Now, South Carolina, they are the wild card. They have a brand new quarterback.
Oh, where's he from?
From Arizona, and Spencer Rattler, the transfer by way of Oklahoma.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
he plays high school ball in Arizona. But he entered this time last year. He was the Heisman favorite.
Yes.
The odds-on favorite to get picked number 1 in the NFL draft, and we all know how that worked out because he's no longer at Oklahoma.
He's back in college again this year.
Yeah.
At South Carolina.
With a lot to prove. They have a new coach. They have a new scheme. I think South Carolina. They won 7 games last year.
Yes, they did.
The over/under this year is 6.
Yep. And they're playing 5 teams in the preseason who are ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, they are.
So their schedule is not something to just sneeze at. They got. Go to Arkansas. Go to Arkansas. They get Georgia at home. They go to Kentucky. They go to Texas A&M come to South Carolina, Columbia, and they end the season at Clemson. I mean, those 5 games right there, I don't see them winning any of them.
Yeah.
Unless Spencer just outperformed all expectations.
Yeah, I think they win 3 of their 4 out of conference games. I think they lose to Clemson.
Yeah.
But then trying to find another 3 wins on their SEC schedule, it's tough. Vandy, yes. Missouri, sure. But after that, you have Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Florida. They're not going to be favored in any of those games.
I agree.
I'm going to pick the under.
Again, I agree with you there. Okay, JJ, how about Tennessee?
Tennessee. I think that they don't get the credit that they deserve.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Hendon Hooker. It took them a while to go to him. They started off the season starting Joe Milton, the Michigan transfer, and that was a very obvious mistake. Hendon Hooker, he could win the Heisman next year. I think he's a dynamic quarterback. He has a big arm. He loves to throw the ball down the field, and he can run with the ball.
So you're saying he's going to be back next year?
Well, he's going to be back this year.
Okay, you said he could win the Heisman next. You mean this season?
This season.
Okay,
that's what I meant. That's what.
Okay.
No, he's a redshirt senior, so he shouldn't be back.
Okay.
This should be his last year. I just meant this season.
I got you.
But yeah, he's going to be throwing the ball to Cedric Tillman. He had 1,000 yards receiving last year. I think Tennessee has. They have a challenging schedule. They have to, play Alabama every year. They play Georgia every year. They play Kentucky, which even though they beat them last year, that was a shootout. That's going to be tough. With all that said, they won 7.
Don't forget Pittsburgh this year.
They do have Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh.
That's right. Pittsburgh is number 17th in preseason.
New quarterback Keaton Slovis, the USC transfer,
Yeah.
Stepping right in where Kenny Pickett left off. Yeah, they have a hard schedule for sure. But with all that said, they won 7 games last year. The over and under 7.5. I'm going to take the over.
I will too. I'm just seem like I'm copying you, JJ, today. Maybe I should go first. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you go first for Vandy for the most important SEC East
Vandy's over and under is 2.5. I'm taking the under.
Well, they already I mean, spoiler alert, we recorded this after they beat down Hawaii last night. So we already...
Who else would they win on the
more than a third of the way there.
They played Elion. How you Elon?
Elon.
Yeah. They might win that, but then
they should definitely win that.
True, they should. They will be the favorite in that one.
Yeah. Then they just have to be Wake Forest, who I think won 9 games last year or 10 games.
They were 10-0 at one point in time.
Oh, so Wake Forest won at least 10 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, they got this is tell me why would an SEC team go to Northern Illinois?
I honestly have no idea, but I think that they beat Northern Illinois, which gives them 3 wins.
Okay,
so
so
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over, but I don't know why they would do that. That happens every now and then. Kentucky went to Southern Miss.
Northern Illinois, I think they still have the transfer from Michigan State at quarterback.
Rocky Lombardi.
Yeah, I think he's still there.
I know he was there 2 years ago, but I don't know about.
He was there last year. So.
Okay.
He may have graduated. I don't know, but I still don't understand. But you know what? I'm just not sold on Vandy, and I'm still gonna take the under 2.5, given they've already beaten Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over. I think they can beat the mighty Elon, whatever their mascot is, and the Northern Illinois Wolfpack.
Okay. Well, JJ, that's the 7 teams.
Huskies.
That's the 7 teams in the SEC East. In your mind, Georgia stands alone.
I think Tennessee can give them a run for their money.
Okay.
I would not be surprised at all if Tennessee won at Georgia.
What about Kentucky, I guess, and Georgia?
I think Kentucky's overrated. I think this year they're ranked in the top 20. I think they have the depth that they didn't used to have. I think they've been recruiting better. I think that, I think Mark Stoops is a good coach. I think he delegates incredibly well. But I think that, they lose the best receiver in the history of their school. They lose, their best running back for at least part of the season. They lose, 2 NFL draft picks from the offensive line. They lost a lot from the defensive line too. They're losing too much, and I don't believe in their quarterback.
I tell you, the one person who has extremely motivated them,
their basketball coach,
John Calipari. He has motivated them. So we'll see if his motivation does to the football team what it's done for the basketball team.
Well, I think it'll be effective in game 1 against Miami of Ohio, but I have them losing to Florida game 2, so
okay.
I don't know.
So JJ got Georgia coming out of the East. Can Georgia make it back to the national championship game?
They could any given Saturday, but I let them get blown out by Alabama in the championship game. Spoiler alert.
Oh man.
I do think that they're going to lose in the championship game, and I also think they're going to lose another game in the season to Tennessee.
All right, very good. Well, JJ, there you have it for the SECs.
There you have it.
All I got to say now is WPS. Whoopig Suey.
We'll get to them.
Hey, we're going to do the Big Ten East next, so make sure you hang around, come back, and check us out. Things are going to begin to get much more exciting with the Big Ten East and the SEC West.
I agree.
So we're going to pick it up, JJ, and take it from there?
Let's do it.
All right.